Hi guys, today let's try oil pastels for the first time. These are from Paul Rubens. There's 72 colors, that's a bajillion colors. First off, the packaging is super nice. I love that the color sheets show all the different colors that you could get, so you can reference this at any time. This foam that lays on top protects the oil pastels, especially since they are super messy and can get dirty. These just help it so that the colors can stay in place and also not smudge all over the box. Make sure to keep your pastels in a cool room temperature place. I don't recommend putting them in the sun or somewhere super warm just because they could melt and get damaged. So I've never used oil pastels before. I don't know what to expect, but I think today what we'll do is just experiment with the different things that we could do. I do know that they are super messy, so even just lightly touching it like this, the color will get onto my fingers. The sketchbook that I'll be using today is from Arteza, which is a brand that my friend gave to me, Small Art. Thank you so much for the sketchbook. The pages feel quite thick. It feels like one of those multi-mixed media books that you can just have different media on top of. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start doodling using the oil pastels. I think the first thing that I want to try is to just see how the colors mix with one another. Starting out with a light color, I'll just lightly kind of color in, and then on the other end use a darker color and see if I can get the colors to mix together by scribbling. Another thing I wanted to try is getting a light color and then a different hue. So this yellow and this red versus like a pink and a red, which are closer to one another. I think the colors mix very well together. What I noticed is that going over them with multiple strokes and just going over them with the two different colors makes the blend really smooth. The greens look really nice blended. Just from that blending, you can see how much color I've already used. I feel like it's also because I'm drawing it pretty heavily, like I'm putting a lot of pressure. I don't know if that's something that is recommended, but I do find a lot of satisfaction with having the colors blended really smoothly like this. And also I'm just someone who naturally draws with a lot of pressure. In terms of trying out line weight, they kind of draw like thick crayons. I think if you don't mix them, they do create this texture that's very crayon-like. And then when I close the book, there is a bit of bleeding, or there's a bit of extra residue that is left over on the other pages. So keep that in mind if you are doing an entire spread and your colors might mix when you close your sketchbook. I'm actually just gonna do one page instead of the entire spread just so my colors don't mix. On this page, I want to try more smudging, and I also want to do more line work. So here I'm smudging with my finger. No extra material is needed. I do like that it creates this blurry effect, but definitely your fingers will get messy if you go with this technique. I'm just trying things out. I don't know if this is the way that oil pastels are used, but I feel like it could be a really cool texture that can be created. And you can also create these like blurred colors and maybe extra variants of colors. I do want to start out by making some more colored out pieces, getting washi tape to block out the sides so I can make a frame and also have a cleaner composition. This is some leftover washi tape that I had that a manufacturer sent me. I don't feel bad using them just because they are designs that I wouldn't normally use anyway, so this was the perfect project to use these. I'm choosing these 4 colors because I want to limit my palette, and I'm making up these landscapes and just blending in the colors together. This technique that I'm trying is basically just scribbling, and it's very similar to when I was blending the colors, but I'm just scribbling on top of the colors and making them blend and just seeing what happens. I think that's what's been fun about experimenting with these oil pastels, is that I don't really know what to expect, but the blending, the scribbling, it makes cool textures that are actually really fun, and yeah, I'm gonna keep trying out this technique. At this point, the pastel has really been worn down, so I'm gonna peel it back just so I can have more pastel to work with. I do really enjoy the scribble method. It's really loose. There's not a lot of thinking. It's just very therapeutic. I think it's kind of similar to if you're just coloring. I did notice that because these pastels are quite thick, it's hard to get certain details, but I'm sure if you sharpen them or use it at a certain angle, you can get smaller details. So there were times when I angled it a certain way just so I could have smaller marks, and like here, I'm adding these red and pink hues to kind of emulate like flowers. What I do love about starting out with light colors and then going in with this dark green is that you can create negative space and shapes. So my idea was maybe like blocking out the area with the dark green so that I can create like a more interesting composition. And after you're done, you can peel off the tape and it creates this like really satisfying composition. A Okay, so I really like how I divided the page using the washi tape, so I'm doing it again here, but this time I'm gonna change the color scheme a little bit, maybe some more cooler colors. There's also this other technique that I want to try where I fill the entire square with colors and then I can scratch it off using another material, which I'll show when I get to the last frame. But for now, we're gonna just continue scribbling with this method and using the new colors that I have. Because this pastel is a lot lighter than the other colors I'm using, when I'm mixing it, there are times when it gets kind of dirty. I do recommend maybe cleaning it up using like a towel, paper, or in this case my washi tape, so that I don't get dirty colors when I'm scribbling. So in this technique, I'm coloring the entire square with different colors. I'm also mixing it with white, which creates like a really nice pastel look. It also blends the colors in really nicely. And then once I have the light base, I'll go over with a dark color. So here I'm using like a dark navy color, and yeah, it got really messy. It has like all of the white residue. And then I'm using a mechanical pencil that doesn't have any lead in it and just drawing on top. And what's really cool is that you can see the pastel layer underneath, and you're basically just scratching away the darker layer which was on top. Just wipe away the extra pastel and you got this cool kind of like scratch activity. Just from pressing my hand while doing this spread, you can see in this previous spread that my colors already imprinted over to the other page. So yeah, these oil pastels are quite messy. Just keep that in mind as you're using it. Alright, for this last technique, something I wanted to try is just mixing all the colors together using white. I'm sketching out my concept first, which is this Shiba Inu, using really light pencil. The colors I'm picking are kind of arbitrary, but I did lean more towards pastel colors, really light colors that are trying to cover the entire rainbow spectrum. I like to start out with the outline, just randomly picking the colors and completing the outline of my sketch, and also alternating. So between like blues, the pink, the purples, there's not really a reasoning to how I'm picking them other than like I do know that the Shiba patterns I want to have lighter colors there. So I'll use like orange, pink, and yellow. And then the darker areas, maybe I'll go with purple and blue. So once I filled out the entire Shiba, I'll go over with my white, which has already been destroyed in using it on the other pages. But I'll just go over and blend everything using the white. It's really cool because it creates like this kind of blurry texture on top. The colors are still there behind, but the white is giving it an additional pastel look. And then for the final details of the face, I'll go over with a darker color. This is the final illustration. I think this technique is probably my favorite, but maybe it's because I can actually tell what the subject is versus the other ones are kind of more abstract. After trying out the oil pastels, I actually really love them, and I might invest in oil pastel paper just to see how that will do with the pastels. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you were interested in this video at all, and also my commentary on top. I have thought about doing like draw with me videos where I'm not talking at all and maybe it's just subtitles, but for this video I did want to talk over just so I can give my perspective on the different techniques that I tried, and also this review of the oil pastels. I was really surprised that I ended up liking the pastels. At first it was just like, oh, I kind of just want to try this medium, but then I ended up falling in love with them. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.